Everybody can hear me okay? Hey, welcome everybody to the second segment of the House of Wise. We have a great crew tonight for you. We're going to extend the discussion, everything also. But we're also having our first ever Kickstarter-a-thon for not only for Nigel, but also Tommy as well here for two great Kickstarters that you should be supporting right now. We'll discuss a little bit here shortly and everything as well. Definitely looking forward to discussion. We also have another guest speaker here for this discussion today, Octavia Ridge. And trust me, if you're not following her, you definitely should follow Tay because she's going to be a beast in this indie comic scene. So with that being said, I would like to give each of our panel members here, starting with Tommy, the opportunity to introduce himself again to our audience.
Hello, everyone. Tommy, World at War Comics, and I am the writer and creator of Kingsville. And right now we have issue 2 as a Kickstarter. Here's issue 1 right here. And I'm really happy to be on with this amazing group, man. Big fan of Wiseacre. And yeah, thank you.
Over to you next, Nigel.
I think Nigel's frozen. Yeah.
Well, Tay, over to you. Let's get your intro.
Hello, I'm Octavia Etheridge, upcoming writer, comic writer for the project called The Matriarch. I'm excited to be here with you guys. Wiseacre is one of the best. I definitely agree. I definitely love him and his team. And I'm excited to be a part of the family.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Tay, and everything. We're definitely getting to your projects, what you got going on, because you know, I supported your Indiegogo. The Matriarch is going to be huge. If you're not following Tay on Instagram, I'm telling you, you need to be following her right now. And we discussed a little bit because I think there's something that just happened recently. I think you posted a video on your Instagram feed for some recognition for the video trailer or whatnot. So I want to definitely discuss that with you a little bit later on during the discussion. But first, we'll try to get Nigel back here in a couple of minutes or so. But I want to extend the conversation from Thomas and everything for his Kickstarter right now that he has going. And I want to make sure I bring it up on the screen here. Give me 1 second here, Thomas. Tell me why I'm doing this. Can you go ahead and give the audience a little bit of background context into your Kickstarter, your story?
Yeah, absolutely. Kingsville is a story about an island nation that's north of a continent. It's an all-fictional world that's been created. And in Kingsville, they're a mining community, and they have found a certain mineral called psychodone. And on the continent, there is a nonprofit entity called the Alliance for Global Safety, and they are bringing nations together to help one another with trade and with all kinds of other things, making sure people have food. And so they're creating this alliance with all these different nations. Well, they were partnering with Kingsville, and they were able to get a hold of that mineral, and then they were able to take that mineral, and it has amazing properties, and they were able to create a serum called psychodome, which creates superhumans. And AGS started creating superhumans with this, and now they're starting to place them in all these nations. So outwardly, everything looks good. Each nation has these superheroes that are taking care of these nations, making sure they're safe. But the reality is this group is doing some pretty nasty things behind the scenes. So outwardly, it looks great, but inwardly, they're not a great group. And this is them right there. That first cover right there, I called the innocent cover, and then this one's called the bloody cover. And we did that because outwardly they look really innocent, but really their hands are full of blood because of the things that they're doing to try and gain more power. And then this one right here, he's the main character in issue 2. That's Death Day. And so we put him on the cover since he is the main part of the story in issue 2. whereas Collapse and Snapback were the main characters in issue 1. So this is page number 1 right here. And if you read issue 1, you'll know why this is taking place, because something horrific took place in issue 2 by AGS, and they're trying to cover it all up. This is a shot of the room where they bring in certain people that they feel would be qualified to take that serum to make them superhumans. And then they get placed in a nation to take care of that nation, but they also do the bidding of the Alliance for Global Safety. So they'll quickly be brought into that entity and trained how to do all the evil things without anybody knowing. And Death Day goes on a mission in issue 2, and here he is jumping out to take care of that reconnaissance mission that he has been asked to take care of.
Man, I
Our
just love that
artist
shot
is a
right
young
there.
man named, Dan Zay is our artist. He's awesome, 24-year-old out of Moscow, Russia. Really cool kid, and I think he's an amazing artist. I feel very fortunate to have him on the team, and he does it all. So he does the penciling, the inking, the colors. He's a very talented young man, and super excited that he is helping me out on at least this 4 comic arc that we're starting Kingsville off on. But it has fun, man. I love it.
And you know, folks, we have 14 days to go on this project. One of the biggest things that we look for, especially as a creator within this indie space and a supporter of the indie family, is supporting and backing quite a few Kickstarters. And this is one I definitely back and supported Tom and everything on. He's sitting at $1,242. His goal is at 4,000. We need a significant push here to push him over the finish line. And guess what? I know we can do it because I've seen it happen before with many of projects on Kickstarter. You're like, man, you got 1 week to go, and you're like $2,000-3,000 short, and all of a sudden, boom, you get that huge push right in the middle and right towards the end and everything to get you over the finish line. So let's make that happen in the family. We do have Nigel back on the feed, and I would like to give Nigel an opportunity also to tell us a little bit about himself, but also his project as I bring up here on the screen.
Hi, good night, everyone. Just having some technical difficulties. You know how it is. Whenever things could go bad, they tend to go bad. My name is Nigel Lynch. I'm a creator from Barbados, and I am the writer and creator of the Diary of the Stray Dogs and Critical Ops Task Force. These are 2 projects that are very dear to me, and this is my very first Kickstarter campaign. I came up with this idea over 2 years ago, and this isn't now coming to fruition. I would love everybody to kind of back support so I can get this story out. The story is set in the future. One story has a very science fiction, gritty kind of feel, and the other one is very cyberpunk. It has more drama in it. It deals more with the characters. You get more insight into the characters. The one is more over the top, kind of action pack. Still has that character feel, but they're 2 different flavors of story.
Yeah, you know, and I'll tell you what, I read both of these books, and I'm telling you right now, folks, you are going to be simply just blown away. You're going to be amazed. And Nigel his team did a heck of a job on both of these books here. When I first read issue 1 of The Wounded, it really just pulled me in. And then when Nigel let me read The Wounded 2, I was just look, being an indie fan and a comic fan in general and everything, I felt like I was watching a movie in a way, and really getting to know the person, the character, in context. And this is something I talked to Nigel about as well, because I asked him, how did you come up with the title? And I want Nigel to kind of like, go into that a little bit with the audience and everything on, but The Wounded, especially and everything. How did you come up with that title?
Right. So there's 2 sides of the story to do with the title. So one of the things is that in my past, I always had bad luck with titles. And when I say I have bad luck with titles, I would come up with a title, and it would be the working title for a book. and then another book would come up with the exact same title or something that would be very close, and I would have to kind of shift. So to prevent that, what I usually tended to do was do a story with a title and then have a second title on into it. So that's why it's like Diary of the Stray Dogs, The Wounded, so that if anything had to come up with another title clash, I could kind of just slowly pivot or shift. And there is another book called Stray Dogs by Image, so it eventually did happen again. So, but the part with The Wounded, that came about because when I was searching for a title that would suit the story, I went to the main character, and the story is about the different types of wounds that she kind of deals with in each of the stories. Some of them are emotional, some of them are physical, different things like that. So I came up with the side title as The Wounded, and it suits the story because the character is trying to overcome a lot of different hurdles in her life, and it's what kind of shapes the character going forward. So the idea is that she will grow from these different events in the story, and if I continue or I get to continue the story to fruition, we will see who she is by the end of the journey.
That's great. We often talk about characters and everything quite a bit when it comes to developing indie comics. And as you can see and everything, especially on this slide right here, this page, there are a variety of characters within the Wounded 2, and also in Kingsville as well. Stop sharing here shortly here. Tell me something for both Thomas and Nigel, and so you can jump in on this discussion as well. Why is it so important to really we have a variety of characters within your comic book series that you give them each kind of like their own story element in a way, their own personality, their own segment, or hey, this is their moment to shine. Why is it so important in the comics that you do that?
I could kind of speak a little bit on my experience, especially with The Wounded. COTF also has a very big cast of characters, and writing for a large cast of characters is a bit tricky because it means that you have to give each of these characters a different voice, unique personality, and it also helps if they have what the artist will call a different silhouette. So a silhouette would be, if you go back to the scene with the Diary of the Stray Dogs characters in the line, you'll see that if I had to kind of black and white that, each of those characters kind of look different. You can't mix up the characters. So you have like a big tough guy, you have a small tech guy, you have two females, but one of them has like a cloak. So you have to kind of mix up these things so that the eye can pick up the difference between the characters, because there's a lot of things when you tell a story that the brain needs to fill in. But if you have all the characters are the same, you start to get things where characters are mistaken or you can't remember who's who and stuff like that. So there's a lot of design that has to go into that aspect of it. And then when you deal with a team, it's important to kind of have teams where characters have different roles, they have different personalities, so that when you're writing, you should never be able to just easily swap out one character and put a character into a situation, because they shouldn't work. It should be like fitting a round peg in a square hole kind of situation. So with all those things in mind, with both stories, I had to do that kind of juggling effect. And it's very hard to kind of give each character their own time to shine. So you try to focus on maybe 3 or 2, depending on how the story is, how long it is. And in another issue, you'll probably focus on another 2 and kind of rotate it around like that. So that's the approach that I have kind of taken on my kind of development.
So I'm going to put Tay on the spot because she's working on something. And like I said, if you haven't seen her videos and everything on the matriarch, and I know she has quite a few characters and everything that she has offered up on the matriarch. And I'm going to leave it up to you, Tay, if you want me to show this page or not, because it's been burning, my pockets and everything. I'm saying, like, you know what, they need to see this page
Yeah.
because Trust me, when you see it and everything, you understand why. And I want you to give the audience a little bit of context about what you're doing. And because to me, this is huge. Where did the story come from? What do you see for towards going towards the future and everything with it? But only if you give me the say so to say, go ahead. I'm gonna show this page and everything for our audience here tonight because this is something special.
Yeah.
Something special.
Go
I
ahead.
caveat to that also. Yes, we did steal Nigel's colors again from last night, right? For this page as well, with King Bowler and everything. And as Tay get ready to share with you, this is the first time ever we're going to introduce this comic page for her upcoming series, The Matriarch. And trust me, uh, it's going to blow you away. So without further ado, and let Tay introduce what she's working on and everything to our live audience here tonight. You're definitely going to enjoy this moment here. Here we go, folks.
Interesting.
That is a beautiful page. Tell us about the artist. We know King Bowl and everything. Did the colors and everything on this as well. But can you tell us about what you're working on and the artist and everything for this comic series that's coming up?
Yeah. So the Matriarch started off as a TV series, and I just wanted to. I created this assassin group that everybody kind of fell in love with. So I was like, you know what? I can't afford to shoot all the action stuff, so I just created the book based off the assassin, the female assassins who are vigilantes. They pretty much kill people. They pretty much protect the matriarch system by killing men that are trying to take down the matriarch system in any given way. And also they're contracted out by the government. So this girl right here, what you're seeing is the main character. That's what I'm focusing the book around. And she's pretty much right here. You see her going to take steal the maid's name tag so she can impersonate the maid, and she goes up to kill her boss. Well, not her boss, but the boss, the Italian mafia boss. And it's only because he killed her. He killed her little sister, so she's going for revenge. So this whole entire book is pretty much um, Liberty going to jail, and then she ended up getting recruited by the female assassins who are going after the same guy, but she ended up getting to him first, and that impressed the boss Marla, which made her like, you know what, we're gonna recruit this girl. And I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but yeah, it's an exciting adventure, very action packed. The year is 2108. This is where you start. This is where we're starting the book off on. And I pretty much wanted to stretch it out a little bit more because of the technology. It used to be set in the year of 2023, but because of the technology, I pretty much pushed it up. The Matriarch is all about women. It's all about women empowerment, and pretty much the men are trying to take back over that power and make it a patriarchy again. So that's what I'm working on. We have a teaser. We have a proof of concept for it on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and watch it. Just type in the Matriarch trailer, and it'll pop up, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
There you go, folks. First review and everything of Tay's new project, The Matriarch. And I'll tell you why I post this and everything too, why this is important, especially within indie comics. And I'll bring everybody back here. And this is important, right? Because in indie comics, we are a small knit community. And you come full circle. You will find it to where you would find somebody that you haven't met before, and you meet them in a circle and everything for communication wise, even on Instagram or on TikTok or on Facebook or now X, aka Twitter. You will finally meet these individuals and learn a lot more about them and everything. And within this connective tissue of creating stories and create the creative process. You know, to me here, Wise Comics is always coming full circle, supporting one another, and making each other, elevating our game within this indie comic scene. And so when I met Tay for the first time, she had this project that I read. I read the script and everything. Now, and the first thing I thought about was, man, this reminds me of something. And I thought about The Wounded from Nigel. And I was like, oh my goodness, Nigel will be great on this project. And he needs to be on this project in some capacity, whatnot. And so I introduced Tay to Nigel. And they had a conversation and everything. And from there, they hit it off. And I was like, man, this is beautiful to see this process of how the production behind the scenes come together. And that's why I wanted to introduce Tay and everything too, but also give a little bit of context into her story and how, you know, from any standpoint, we are a family linked with one another. And so when we support each other in all facets and everything, it doesn't matter if I have, you know, hey, Nigel hit me on Crisis. Hey, Nigel did a great job on Crisis and everything with the team. Hey, Tay, let me introduce you to Nigel because I think he helped you out also with your story as well. And then, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we have Thomas here. You know, he's always doing a lot of, you know, podcasts. You know, he does a lot of things in the indie community at the same time. And he's always broadcasting and supporting us within this indie space. And so this is important, you know, when I say that the ACE initiative and giving access, we're talking about giving access in all capacities. You know, Nigel didn't complain to me about, hey, you stole my colors. No, what he did was, man, you made an excellent choice. And I told King Bolden and everything, hey, look, I'm not trying to stop you and impede you from any other work and everything that you're doing with any other creator out there. I'm very patient. I will wait because guess what? You're very talented. I want to be able to showcase what you're able to do so you can get more work within this industry. It's all about building people up and supporting them, even from the lowest levels and everything. And, you know, we had a discussion last night, and I want to bring Thomas back into this one right here because we said last night, right? If you're looking to get into this industry to be a millionaire overnight, then you're probably in the wrong industry. It will not happen here. It's going to take a lot of hard work, knowing behind the scenes, creating a team, understanding the process that it takes, and the capital and the money it takes to create a comic book. It's not cheap. It's pretty expensive and everything. I can guarantee you, talking to both Thomas and everything, Nigel and Tay, they probably would tell you, hey, look, they have probably spent a significant amount of money on bringing these stories to life. And with your support, not only on Kickstarter, but other platforms and everything, they can do wonders for this community and continue to bring great stories that's original, that's, you know, you haven't really seen before, to you and everything, to where you can enjoy and get something out of that. So I would ask, and start with Thomas and everything too, can you kind of extend on, you know, what do you feel being a part of this community, and why is it so important to you?
Yeah, I mean, one, you make the most amazing connections, and I learn from those connections, right? So I'm not a veteran in this game at all. You know, I had my first comic book published in March, so I'm just getting into it right now. I have a second one coming in. I could not get any of this done unless this community was so open to answer questions. I had to go to YouTube. I had to reach out to people. That's how I built the network that I have. And it's amazing how open and how friendly and how receiving this community is. Even you, Frederick, I mean, when I read this book right here, Magnus, man, I reached out to you right away because the quality is absolutely insane. And I'm like, man, who are you printing with? Like, who's your artist? Like, how did you get this on your first try too, man? You just like hit a home run, man. And you know what I mean? So it's really, one, you're excited for someone like that to make that happen. And then two, I want to learn from you because you're doing things right. And what's awesome, I mean, look at you, invite me to your home, right? To be able to share something that I'm doing. That's the community that we have. And I absolutely love it. And I have it with so many other people. And that's why I always try to give back too, and make sure that I'm supporting, because that's the community that we want to maintain, right? And I think it's really important. And once you leave kind of the indie scene, you do lose a lot of that because it becomes very corporate, right? What's awesome about the indie scene is it's not corporate. It's a bunch of individuals pouring their soul into something that they've created, and they're always willing to receive feedback and give feedback. And I'm telling you, I'm a better creator for that, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
You know, I watched a segment on YouTube actually of Todd McFarlane and his story, and why he said he wanted that to be indie and maintain that independence and everything, that freedom of creativity, and not be restricted, but more so own everything that he creates and create a collective group and everything to where they can do the same thing. It's a blueprint that has worked wonders, right? And we often you often hear discussion everything too when it comes to image. You know, did it get too big? You know, are they still considered indie and everything? Well, they have some great material and everything too. You know, from I'm sitting here and I'm reading a collective right now, Invincible, and I'm like, man, this series is just fantastic.
It's crazy good, man.
Yeah, it's really good, right? But you look at every other creator that's out there from Godhood Comics, you know, from Antagonists. You know, David has brought Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. They you know, Sebastian has, you know, from Nawabi. There are a great slate of indie creators out there, and there's more coming in the future and everything. To where when you look at the big two and the big three, or the big two, and you include image and everything in there, from a standpoint of being a big three in a way, I look at the indie community as a whole. We are the big three. You know, we are a collective of individuals with a diverse background that bring original storytelling to the forefront. And in retrospect, we support one another when the time comes, and we get the projects off the ground and uplift each other and everything in the process to make sure we can deliver these books to our consumers, which are backers, the individuals that pledge to Kickstarters and everything, to support us when we want to make sure we get that next issue in the production queue, so there's no delay when, you know, we're trying to print the other book that you just backed and everything too. And so it's a process. It's a team. I will tell you, when I started everything, I did not have a team. I didn't have a team at all. I went solo dolo. I was like, you know what, I can do this all by myself. Yeah, the wrong decision ever I have made in my life and everything was the wrong decision. But in a way, it was also the right decision, because I learned a very valuable lesson. You know, it takes failure to be successful. It takes falling down to rise back up and stand back up on 2 feet and everything. And even if you get knocked down, get back up and try again. And I did it often until I finally got it right. Till I finally started listening to other creators, and everything in the indie space, asking questions. I remember sending Magnus to Nigel when he saw the post and everything on Facebook and was like, "Hey, look, man, you know, I'd be happy to give it a read." And at first I was like, "Man, should I give my book to him?" And like, he's reading my script and everything up. But he made some comments and stuff where he was saying, you know, maybe you should add this to it. And I actually went back and did. Actually went back and add some things there to the script and whatnot that actually flowed better and made it better. And I had an aha moment. I said, you know what? I need to work with this guy going forward in the future on a lot more things that I'm doing and everything, because he gets it. And so, you know, from each and everything, you have impacted me in a way to where it has elevated my game, and I will continue to support you in all of your works and whatnot that you do. With that being said, you know, Nigel also had introduced, and I haven't seen this before. This is the first time I'm actually seeing this, some trade cards for his series, Critical Ops Task Force. And I would like to get Nigel to give a little bit of context into these two characters. I'm going to bring them up one by one here, so you can see it. And I will tell you, again, amazing artwork across the board. Tell us about the artist, Nigel. Definitely give us a little bit of context and everything to the character as well, so individuals understand why they should support not only your campaign, but your entire series, this universe that you're creating. Here we go. Beautiful artwork.
Okay, so right, so this artwork was done by a friend of mine called Tristan Roach. He's from Barbados, and he's one of the artists that kind of started with me 17 years ago. We were part of a group called Beyond Publishing in Barbados, and we have worked on a number of projects together. So he is the person who designed, let's say, 90% of the characters in the Diary Stray Dogs universe. So this was one of the first characters that we designed. This is Douglas St. James. He is the person who the initial story was surrounded around him. And he's a super soldier mercenary with he has like nanobots in his system, and he can, it's basically like a low level healing factor, not on the scale of someone like Hulk or Wolverine, but a healing factor nonetheless. And he has basically boosted reflexes and that kind of stuff. What I try to do with a character is, even if I give them abilities, try to still give them weaknesses, because a character is only as good as basically if he has flaws. A character should have a kind of flaw. You should be able to relate to the character, or the character should always seem as though they can lose. So, but this was the first character, and he is the leader of the red team in the COTF comic book.
All right. Let me bring up the second one too as well. Let's see what we got here. Down. Screen. Go me, folks. Getting used to this here. Here we go.
Yes. So this is the second character, and he is basically the best friend of the main character. His name is Tyler McPherson, and this was a character that I kind of designed in terms of, I wanted to have this over the top crazy character that could say almost anything, and he's almost like, I don't want to say he's kind of crazy, but he says what comes to his mind. And being that these guys are ruthless mercenaries, they do anything, they say anything, and they're kind of very irreverent. So he is that side of the team. He's the person who kind of charges in first without thinking, kind of thing. He's not the one that is the most eloquent. He's not the one that is actually thinking. He's just the one about killing or about money. You know what I mean? And he's a very fun character to write. They had a lot of issues with me and my editor. We kind of fought over this character. He wanted me to tone him down a bit, but he is a very interesting character, and he is one of the more fun characters to write because you can be a little more free with him, kind of thing. So that's Tyler McPherson in a nutshell.
These characters, like I said, each of them have a different personality and everything, which I think is important, because again, it gives the story a little bit more depth. And when I read it again the second time around, I read it from his standpoint in a way, looking at his scenes, everything that he was in. I was like, you know what? I understand why he's doing these things, and get a little bit more context into the team construct, because COTF everything is a team, and each of those individuals have a moment, but it's not like they're overtaking each other. You always know who's the lead character of the story and everything is, regardless of the fact. And you did an excellent job, not only writing that story and your artist and everything, taking the information that you gave him and really delivering on all aspects of the scenes and be able to capture the different panels and everything in context, the different perspective shots. I was sitting there seeing them jumping out of the aircraft, and I'm like, man, goodness gracious almighty. They're out of the aircraft, they're crawling and scaling the building and everything. I'm like, okay, look, it's you go back to those moments and stuff. I was a huge diehard fan, John McClane. And seeing those moments, everything from an action sequence and stuff like that or whatnot, how he was to deliver the story elements, without, overtaking the art and letting the art tell its own story in a way too, which I think is very important. And so that's why I really, I have really adapted myself from going from, reading a lot of Marvel and DC and shifting over to indie comic because, I'm starting to see a lot more of those elements and stuff in the writing styles, but also the quality of work that you see out there when it comes to indie. I would ask this question because, oftentimes you probably won't get in everything. Give me your top 3 indie comic books. I won't do top 5. I'll do top 3. Top 3 indie comic books from each of you and everything that you're reading right now, and what you enjoy about, and what do you enjoy about those books?
Who's going to go first?
Let me
go first.
I'll
go first.
Okay. All right.
I'll go first. Okay. So right now I am reading and enjoying an Image book called Void Rivals. It's basically Image is kind of relaunching the Transformers franchise, and this is it's interesting. I like science fiction, and I like science fiction that's kind of out there. So this is a very interesting story about 2 races. They're technically the same, but the civilians and the people believe they're different, and the rulers have pit them against each other in like a century-old kind of war. And it's a very interesting story. From other indie creators, right now, one of the last books that I kind of really enjoyed was Terminus Vale. Terminus Vale, I really like that because I was drawn to that because it was a different type of story. Again, it was mercenaries. I kind of enjoy mercenaries, and I like to look at creators who are doing things different and seeing what I can take from them or learn from them. And being that his book wasn't a superhero book, and it was like similar, I was excited. I want to see like, what is this guy doing in the similar space that I am doing? And I really had a lot of fun reading that book. And another book I read was called Holt. And Holt is another indie book. And this book is a book. What I love about this book is that the creator, when he did this book, you can tell that he's having a lot of fun with it. It has elements of, we talked about it. It has elements of Metal Gear, and we started to talk about growing up as a kid playing games on the NES, and you can see all those kind of flavors coming through the book. And it still has like a slight manga style. He mixed comedy into it. He did something in it which I like to see, where as an indie creator, he has in the story, the character is fighting like how characters will fight guns and stuff, but the damage toll in the story, every time something happens, there's a ticker in the corner telling you how much the cost of the damage that he has done. So those little elements, it's things that we as indie creators can do that's interesting. So while you're reading this book and he blows up a building, you can see the damage toll, and at the end of the story, he has to pay for everything. So that's a book called Holt, by a guy called Cedric. So Cedric Hood. So you could check those on out.
Good. What about you, Tom?
Man, this is a hard one because I'm reading a lot. So I started going through my comics. I'm like, I got piles everywhere. But one that just came out, they just hit issue number 2, is called the Hunger in the Dusk. If you like a fantasy story, the world building in this is absolutely incredible. It's insane. The art is incredible. It's written by G. Willow Wilson. She's the one that created Miss Marvel. She usually writes for Marvel, but she went off to IDW, and here's issue 2, here's issue 1. But I would say read, if you love fantasy stuff, this is absolutely incredible. Beautiful. The next one, which I've already read a while ago, but he had a Kickstarter, and that's Newton Lalaboyce. I don't know if you know him from Dream Fury. He's a good friend of mine. So Keisha Demon Killer is by far insanely good. He came out with it in a grayscale, and then he just had a Kickstarter and they added color. I don't know which one I like better because the grayscale is crazy good, but the color is just awesome. The artist is Giancarlo. He's from the Philippines. one of the best artists ever. This guy is incredible. But yeah, you got to check that out. It's absolutely amazing. Beautiful, beautiful comic book. I got a pile of them, man. I could go all night. But the next one, I'm a big G.I. Joe fan. I grew up with G.I. Joe back in the late 80s, early 90s. You got He-Man, you got
Yes.
Transformers, right? So those Saturday morning
That was the
cartoons
era.
were amazing. Well, IDW lost the IP for that. And there was there's been a gap, right? We know that Robert Kirkman has picked it up with Skybound with Image, and actually next month they have G.I. Joe and Duke coming out. But there's been this gap, and I was at San Diego Comic-Con, and I met KJ Kaminsky, and he has a comic, and he's been around for 5 years, called The Resistance, and it's incredible too, man. The art is insane, and it's very G.I. Joe-like. The characters are aliens, and then they do have humans too. And a lot of the stories remind me of G.I. Joe, but even the art, and he's a huge G.I. Joe fan. So he's definitely been impacted by G.I. Joe. But when you read this, very much the same. And he has over 25 books of the Resistance. Here's Kestrel, and she's one of the main characters in there. Oh, sorry, where was it at? Oh, right here. And she's absolutely incredible. But check them out, man. You could go to Big Blue Comics. But I could keep going, man. I got Concrete Comics is another one that's amazing. Yeah, man. My man, Derek Allen, Lonzo Starr is absolutely incredible. But yeah, that would be my three.
Concrete. Definitely. What about you, Tate?
Well, you know, I just got started with the whole, you know, in the indie world. I'm still, even just comics in general, I started this year. So I'm still trying to like catch up. But I mean, I would say the first comic book that I read that was indie was from Stranger Comics, the Asanda series. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know about that. That actually got picked up. They're making it into a movie now. I don't think I need to say too much about Stranger. They're killing the game right now. Another thing is forgot about Black Sand. What is it? Black Sand? Yeah, Black Sands. I read a lot of their books. Their books are amazing. They're actually one of the first Black owned companies that I saw, only because they had something similar to what I had, but it was just about Egypt. So I was like, okay, well, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, that, and then I just I'm gonna say two more. Of course, we're gonna say the infamous Wise Acre Comics with their everything that you do is gold, my man. That's why I told you every time when I come, exactly. Magnus is it. I can't even explain Magnus.
You said it.
I can't explain Magnus, man. And same thing with Nigel. I just I know I didn't speak to you before about what you had me read, but the book that you had me read was also amazing. It was Stray Dogs book 1. Amazing story writer. Man, that like Nigel, yes. You guys, if you haven't already read it, please check him out. Like Stray Dogs 2, I'm actually ready for that one to come out because you understand storytelling, you understand all you guys, all you guys understand storytelling. That's what we are, and I think that's why it's so hot right now. A lot of people, they just do a lot of comics and they just don't really invest in the time to make sure that the creativity is there and the quality that you have for not only Crisis as well, but of course all you guys books, Magnus, Crisis, and Stray Dogs 2, Stray Dogs 1, like the artwork is also what matters, because a lot of people, what they'll do, if your comic book doesn't look good on the front, this is what catches people's attention. The first page, that's going to make a person pick up the book. When they open it, it's the artwork, and then they'll look at the story. Some people just go through the pages. I was one of those people. I'll go to the comic book store. If the artwork is not good, I put it back down. And it's only because I'm a visual person. And if you're able to catch my attention with, my eyes before I go and read, you have me, you have your audience. And I think you guys do a good job with just your storytelling. And yeah, I'm a major fan. I'm a major fan. I'm so happy to have met both of you guys. And I have yet to read your story, but I've been seeing Frederick posting it on his page. So I'm gonna check you out too. I definitely think you guys are amazing.
It's a great story. Kingsville, it won't disappoint. It will not disappoint. You know,
I'll send you the PDF of it, Tay. I'll send you the PDF of it.
Okay, vetted. Thank you.
We gotta come in right here. Let's put this up. Let's see here.
Yeah, we ready for Magnus. Let's go.
Crisis Tracy, I'm enjoying Life and Death in Paradise. Just finished Kingsville #1. Dope as I want K to F. It's fire. It's fire.
Wow.
So, folks, if you're not, trust me.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
If you're not jumping on these series and everything and supporting them on Kickstarter or supporting them on the website across the board, follow them on their Instagram, follow them on Facebook, follow them on TikTok, follow them on X. I guarantee you will see a lot of material they're actually posting on their pages and everything about what they're working on. And you know, I know Nigel's working on a lot of things behind the scenes and stuff like that as well. I'll give you my top 3, and I'll give you my top 3 first, Nigel, before you jump in.
Look at the book.
I'm also working on a new series. This is important for any creator or anything out there to understand too. You have to read other comic books to sometimes inspire you to get enjoyment everything out of the story, or something that's in your niche that you're writing everything too, that you know, hey, this writer is doing an excellent job in this category right here. I probably learn something from them also. And so for me being overseas and everything too, it's kind of hard for me to get physical books and whatnot until I get back stateside. But so I do a lot of digital as well. And one of the books I really love was from Brendan Thomas, Excellence. If you're not reading this book right here, this series, Excellence, you're making a huge mistake. Excellence is a great book. Think about, you know, kind of Harry Potter, magical elements and everything too. You know, sorcery, the whole 9 yards and stuff like that. But it has those family dynamics and everything that you really need to look at from considering from a standpoint of the character. And that young character and everything in that story really resonated with me. So when I started writing the miscreants and everything, I wrote it from a prequel from Magnus. It's the before Magnus even born and everything. It tells a little bit about his father, King Magnus, and his family, his brothers, Anik and Stamos. And so we're right now in issue 2 of the scripting process, but it started from, you know, me going back and taking a look at this book right here, reading and everything, and getting those magical elements that I really wanted to put into the miscreants. Also, one of my favorites, everything too, from Godhood Comics, we have GPD. GPD is again, it has those sci-fi elements that I'm trying to get and everything and put into the story of Magnus and everything as well. And I wanted to make sure I resonated from a standpoint of reading everything when it comes to sci-fi. I know, you know, from Nigel's standpoint, you know, he's killing in that area and everything from sci-fi from across the board. He hits it on the net every single time. And then last but not least, one of my favorites I'm reading right now, Bitterroot.
Oh, I got that too.
Wrong, with this book right here. You know, that whole entire, you know, David Walker and everything from Sanford Green, Chuck Brown, a magnificent job on that series. You know, it's set into the Harlem Renaissance era in the 1920s. Very profound. You know, it blends elements of supernatural, and I'm like, man, I need those creatures and everything, some type of supernatural element in my story as well. And it started to get juices, everything flowing. And I was like, man, okay, let me create go back to the personality wise character development. Let me create a character called the Swarm for the miscreants as they're kind of the antagonists of the story. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be cool right here, because before you knew the miscreants in Magnus, they were evil, but at one point in time, they were good too. So we're telling it from that standpoint. Looking forward to bringing that story to light here soon and everything. But with that being said, if you have any comments for any of our creators and everything here about what they're working on, about the campaign, Kickstarter, across the board, please post those comments into the chat. And also the link to both Kickstarters are in the description and everything on our YouTube channel for both campaigns. We have some rewards to give out tonight, some freebies and everything away. You need to share this link with your friends, family, whoever who might enjoy indie comics that's looking to get into indie comics. Have them come to the chat to ask these creators right here questions about what they're working on. You know, if there's anything you want to learn about what's going on in indie, I guarantee they can pass on their knowledge to not only aid you if you're a young creator out there looking to get started, to jump into this pool of creativity. They have a vast amount of experience and everything they can share with you here on these lives. So with that being said, now you had a point, I will go over to you.
Sorry. Yes, I just wanted to say thanks to Chris Six Strings, because The Life and Death in Paradise is the first comic book I ever published. So, and that is just like the first, but that's like 16 years old. To see somebody who could call out that's a real, that's a real classic there for me. So thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. That really touched me right here, man. I actually forget. Sometimes I actually forget where I started with that book.
It's good
Got
to have
some
those
crazy
guys,
experience, Nigel. That's awesome, man.
but it tells you how long you've been in this game, everything, how hard you've been working, especially for Nigel and everything. You probably don't know, and Nigel probably haven't touched on this and everything. But Nigel, what was your first book that you created?
No, so the first book I ever did. Okay, so the first thing I kind of did, I worked with a group of guys, and I kind of just helped them produce stuff. So I worked with a lot of other guys, like finishing their stories, almost kind of at the time not knowing I was a story editor, but that's what I was kind of doing. I was just kind of giving my expertise and telling them about stuff. And then the first book I ever did was The Same Life and Death in Paradise, and that was a crime drama set in the Caribbean. At the time, it was very big into a HBO series called The Wire. So it was heavily influenced by that, but with a Caribbean futuristic setting. And from there, I worked on a fantasy novel, which ended up getting picked up by Abrams Publishing, again with Barbadian creators, myself, Matthew Clark, Tristan Roach, Aguinaldo Belgrave. So I've worked with a team together, and we've always tried to elevate and push each other and help each other out. And so the last thing I would have done would have been the Dare the Stray Dogs and This Universe. And those same guys would have helped me along the way.
It's you always have a starting point, right? You have a starting point to where, when you look at Stan Lee, his story and everything, where he started. Everybody started from somewhere to where now, you're writing and creating your own books and everything, your own stories. And, I look at Kickstarter as an opportunity and everything to give us a platform to also be a voice for creativity and everything at the same time as well. But give us the opportunity to raise the funds needed and everything to continue to bring these stories to the forefront, because I guarantee you, there's someone out there, there's one person that wants to read your book, that wants to read what you brought forth and everything at the same time. Right now, we have 43 backers. 15 days ago, Nigel's at $2,032. We have already met our funding goal, but I guarantee you, Nigel wants to write, Critical Ops Task Force issue 2. He wants to write the Wounded 3, and those funds, everything will help him out to be able to not only delay but start the process now to get those books, everything into production. And so, yes, Kickstarter can be a little bit funny when it comes to raising money and everything, but at the end of the day, too, the beauty about this process and everything is, Nigel is from the Caribbean, and so, to be able to aid him through our ACE initiative, to be able to not only raise funds and everything for his stories. And, as a publisher and everything, it's my job to make sure that, we take care of him at the end of the day, but also bring his works to life and make them a reality. And with your support, we can make that happen. And that's the beauty of the ACE initiative, because we give not only access to our audience. We're trying to build this community and everything for the House of Wise, to our YouTube channel, but also as an imprint and everything, as a publisher too, at the same time, through collaboration, with other creators and everything out there, like Tom, who's also running his Kickstarter as well. He also has a platform. Also, he has a huge reach and everything, a huge following for the indie community as a whole, to really share our stories with his audience also. It's like I said, that connective tissue. And then, if you didn't know, we have a director in the room here with Tay Ridge, who's bringing you the matriarch in her series, who's been adapted into a comic book. And if you didn't know, cough here, Nigel is a part of that process and everything as well. And so, as a community, we continue to uplift, we continue to grow together and build this community on a united front. And it takes all of us to be able to bring these stories and everything to the forefront and bring them to light. And yes, does it cost money? It really do. It costs a lot of money. And at times, everything, we come out of pocket with that money because we love what we do. We didn't love what we do, we wouldn't write these stories for free. We won't write these stories at all. We get enjoyment and being fulfilled and everything by seeing the end product from our artists taking our stories that we entrust with our scripts and everything and say, hey, produce some artwork for us. And then be amazed when the artwork comes back and it just blows us away. And then from there, we send it to our colorist, who does a magnificent job bringing that art to even more life, put more life into that artwork and everything, to where the artistic palette, the color palette, and everything just resonates. And then last but not least, the letterer, making sure they're able to bring those words and put them onto the page and everything, into certain bubbles and stuff, give you different sound effects. It just, again, it's a collective process. And guess what? We have to pay all of those individuals, because guess what? They don't do it for free. And that's why I tell people that jumps into this pool, if you want to make money, be patient, build your brand, build your following, and I guarantee you it will pay off in the long run. It's going to take a little bit of time, but you can do it if you're patient. So with that being said, we're going to pretty much, depending on who we have on the stream tonight and everything, we're going to do a giveaway. I won't tell you what it is, but I would ask you to select a number between, let's say, 1 through 20, and put that into the comment box. We'll write those numbers, everything down, and in the next 15 minutes or so, we're going to do our first giveaway. And I will decide who that giveaway is going to be. If it's going to be from Tom or Nigel or myself. If Tay has something she want to do and everything too, by all means, Tay, let us know. But in the next 15 minutes, we're going to do our first giveaway. Pick a number between 1 through 20. Put that into the comment box and everything. We'll write that down, and you'll be entered into the free giveaway. So one of the goals we're trying to do to make sure tonight is, this is our drive to 100 backers. Each of the campaigns are pretty much at the midway point. This is where Kickstarter goes into like a little bit of a lull. And so this is why I decided to go ahead and do these events here, to where we're really trying to not only generate backers and pledges within the amount of days we have available to us and everything, so we can really reach these goals, these milestones, because each of these creators have stretch goals. And I'd like for both Nigel and Tom to kind of go into what kind of stretch goals do they have ready to go, and what milestone do you need to reach everything to unlock those stretch goals. I'll start with you, Tom.
All right. So if you go to my Kickstarter, I have the stretch goals on that front page. And on that front page, on the very bottom, I list them out. So I have a $4,000 goal. That's where I'm trying to reach. And what I did for my stretch goals, where most people start, like once I hit it, then we have other goals. I wanted to make sure you got something along the way. So even we obviously have to hit the 4,000 in order for the rewards to be given out. But I wanted to give something along the way, so that you didn't have to wait for that $4,000 to get it. Because even if we just hit the 4,000, you at least get something out of it. So yeah, there you go. So if you see, I have these really awesome embossed stickers. They're really nice. So once we hit 1,000, which we've already done, everyone will get one of these. Once we hit 2,000, everyone will get a magnet of World at War comics. You can throw it in your fridge, throw it in your car somewhere. So I want to make sure everyone had that. And then for the first time, we have a 9-card collector's card set. And so once we hit 3,000, everyone will get 1 card. When we hit the goal, which is 4,000, everyone gets 2 cards. So just by backing and us hitting the goal, I'm going to throw in 4 free things, just to say thank you for backing us. Then after that, once we hit 5,000, if we're able to reach that, I have these really cool 11 by 17 posters that will be given out to everybody, which is pretty cool. And man, if we get to 6,000, which right now would be a miracle, to be honest, but if we get there, it would be amazing. And I have these cool poker chips, and I have my Kingsville issue #1 cover. I have Collapse on one side and then Snapback on the other. And these are the 2 super humans that were in issue #1. So really cool poker chips if we hit 6,000. So that's my stretch goals, and the prizes that go with them, which I think are a lot of fun.
Man, that poker chip right there is pretty cool, y'all. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
we
it is awesome.
6,000 as soon as possible, because that's a cool coin. I love to collect coins, and
yeah,
would be a great addition to my collection. So we have Marcus redeeming everything here at 14 for the raffle. I got you down there, Marcus. If anybody else, again, if you're interested in raffle, put that number into the chat there, and we'll get you loaded into the spin and everything for the giveaway. We have also Crisis Strings is in at 8. Over to you, Nigel. What you got going on for stretch goals? What you thinking about?
Yeah, so I've been thinking about what I would do for the stretch goal. So we had a little discussion, and we were saying if we hit the goal of 3,000, that's one of the goals we was going to do. I was going to do a goal at 75 backers. So I just commissioned a new cover for the Wounded 2, and that would be released as a part of the stretch goals. And I also have another trading card. So once we hit the other goal, I'll release the other trading card, and the trading card will be free to all physical backers. They will get one of the trading cards, and those who want to either get the new cover for the Wounded 2, they can get that, or it can be done as an add-on. So that's the 2 goals. On the new cover, I showed Frederick, and it's a really cool cover for the Wounded 2.
Yeah, you know what, folks, just so you know everything, I have seen that cover, and I'm just gonna leave it at that right there. You probably need to back both of these campaigns. Like I said, at the end of the day, there's some special stretch goals I have seen and everything, and you're gonna miss out if you don't hit these numbers, because they are unique, they are special, and we definitely look forward to everything to not only increasing the pledges and everything to support them in their efforts, because that's what we're doing here tonight and everything going forward. We're probably doing a couple of Instagram live streams also to catch that audience as well, to where we continue to pull our way to 100 backers for both of these campaigns here at their midway point. We're 14 to 15 days ago for each of the campaigns. We definitely, like I said, I've seen the impossible become possible, and it's going to definitely be a feat. But I know as we continue to push everything, we'll hit those markers and everything across the board, and get both of these campaigns be very successful with their community. But with that being said, so what I did was, since we only got 2 individuals in the queue right now, I did put them onto the spin wheel took away all of the numbers except for 14 and 8. So it's gonna be a battle of the two here for a freebie, a free giveaway, and we'll see who wants it. Tell me you want it. Someone wants it. So we won't
Let's
tell
do it.
you right now. This is the
Okay.
last chance. This is your last chance here. If you want to put your number into the giveaway, pick a number between 1 through 20. Put that number into the chat right now to be entered into this free giveaway. We won't let you know what you're going to win. So if you're just not joining us and everything, we're about to do a live giveaway. Pick a number between 1 through 20. We got credits outlay here. Number 1. All right, all right. There we go, folks. Don't miss out on this.
Oh,
You got somebody
they
else
come.
came in. Yeah,
Here
somebody
they
else came in.
come.
Let's-
All right, all right. If you're just not joining
Her
everything
Majesty.
again,
Pick a number through
link-
1 through 20.
the link to
That's me.
Oh, that's you. I was like, I thought someone came in.
the link to both campaigns.
Tay, I
are
was like,
in
oh, put a number in,
the,
Tay. You can win.
the description. Everything. Just not joining. The link to the campaigns are in the description. We would love to have you for your support. If you pledge tonight and everything, again, we're doing free giveaways. We appreciate your support and everything tonight for both these campaigns here. Again, the links to both campaigns are posted in the description in the YouTube channel there. We also have it here as well for if you want to copy it down. This is a link for Critical Ops Task Force and the Wounded 2 Kickstarter. And then we have Kingsville Issue 2. This is the link also for Kingsville Kickstarter. And they're both live right now and they're running. With that being said, I will go over to Tay and just kind of, from a Tay standpoint, from your series to your comics and everything, why did you want to go from producing everything from a series of movies and stuff like that in that arena to now making comics? And I get to set up the giveaway set up here shortly.
Well, for one thing that I learned in school is that when you have a book, you retain all of your rights to everything. So therefore, for me, it was more so a factor of me wanting to, own all of my stuff before selling it. And then also, um, being able to start building that fan base from books. Right now, a lot of studios are lazy. They would rather go to a book stand and buy a book and create that book and turn it into a movie or a series before they sit in a room trying to recreate something all from scratch. And another thing that I spoke of before was another reason why I did that is because majority of the stuff that the code does is expensive. I don't have money to blow up cars, drive, cars off a bridge, kill people with, just it's a bunch of stuff that requires money. But I would rather spend $10,000 on a book than to spend $1 million on, one thing. So on one shot, I should say. So yeah, that's another reason why I got into the comic book industry. And I also took a liking to the fact that I didn't know how big it was, and I just want to be a part of. I thought the not film, but the comic book industry was just Marvel and DC, which is why I never tapped into it, because I felt like, well, for one, I thought that was just like, oh, well, we're just gonna be reading books on Marvel and all these characters that we already know. But then when I dived in and I learned that, wow, there's an indie side, and there's actually books that I thought it was just like superhero stuff. I didn't know that you could do regular action or sci-fi or thrillers. Like, I didn't know that. So I think that's what made me want to join in. I don't have a superhero movie, or not movie, but comic book, but it's definitely action. It's full of action. And I feel like a lot of people will enjoy that. So that's another reason why I joined the indie side.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I know Tom at the ready to go and everything. Hey, we're going to do this giveaway right now. Appreciate that, Tay. We have numbers 1, 8, and 14 in the queue, and I'm going to spin this wheel right here. And good luck to our first contestant here. We have not told you what you're going to win, but Tom is the first one giving a giveaway here. So let's go ahead and spin. Hold on 1 second here. Let me do the other button. All right, here we go. Let's see who we got. Oh, it's number 8. We have Crisis Strings and everything right here in the house. Again, that's almost a split right there, but it is in the little pink right here at number 8. So close, number 14.
So close. So close, man.
So with that being said, let's see what Crisis Strings what he has won. We'll pull Tom up here, and
right here,
this is the free giveaway right here. Whoa.
This is the Lex Luthor in his power suit, and this is from the New 52. So I've been holding on to this. I had 2 of them. So congratulations. If you could DM me and let me know the address you want it shipped, I will ship it out to you totally free. Congratulations. Thank you for joining us. It's awesome that you're here. And yeah, congratulations. This is a nice piece, man. It's a very nice piece. There was 2 of them in this set, and he's in a blue uniform and a green, and I had 2 of the greens. So yeah, congratulations. I like this one too.
Yeah,
that was close, Marcus. That was close,
Marcus. Really close. And we told y'all, you know.
I'd be throwing the flag if I were you, Marcus. That was close, man.
Hey, I just pressed the button. Right there. Congratulations. Crisis Strings. Again, if you can reach out to World at War Comics, let him know that you was a winner on the first giveaway for tonight. Huge shout out and everything to our guests in the house and everything tonight as well. I know Tommy has to get ready to take off and everything, but I appreciate your brother for singing with us tonight and everything as well. And again, if you're not back, his campaign, everything like I say is running right now. This is the link to the campaign page. It's also posted in the chat. This is our drive to 100 backers. His goal right now is at 4,000. We need a significant push to get him over the finish line and everything. Have I seen it happen before? Yes. We roughly have between 13 and 14 days left on this campaign. Let's make it happen, folks. Again, Tom, it was an honor having you on tonight and everything. We really do appreciate it. And if you got to take off, by all means, you can go and take off everything. But hopefully we'll do this again soon. And we get some things scheduled and whatnot. If need be, it might be on your show. So
I love it. I mean,
let us know.
Anytime you need anything, you know, I'm here for all of you. So whatever you need, just let me know, and we'll do whatever we can to make it happen. You know that.
Awesome.
Yeah. I appreciate all of you. Yeah. I just got to pick up my daughter at 8. So my wife took off, and it's my responsibility, she said. So I'm going to obey the orders and be a good husband here. But thank you for everything. And Chris X Strings, please reach out to me like on Instagram, and I will make sure I get your address, and I will send that out. It's just World at War Comics. Okay. Thanks everyone. I appreciate you, and we'll talk soon.
He just said he just brought you Kingsville 1 today. He's back in the campaign for sure.
Let's do it. I appreciate you.
Go.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Have a good one, Tommy. Have a good one. All right, folks. You know that's what we're doing. Everything right here. Again, if you can give us a follow on the channel, hit that subscribe button. We definitely appreciate your support. This will be the last segment that we'll do. We'll be doing this going forward into the future, everything with future campaigns, not only for Wise Acre Comics, but also our partners in the creative space. And so we're looking forward to not only generate more following and more backers and everything through coming to you directly through these platforms. And like I said, at the end of the day too, we had 3 great creators on tonight. We had Tommy from Kingsville. That series is just simply amazing. We have Nigel. Right here giving you not only 1 comic book, but 2 in 1 campaign. And get this, 1 is a graphic novel, 78 pages worth of explosive content that you cannot miss. If you have not read issue 1 of The Wounded, you are missing out. And guess what? It's an add-on on this campaign right now, where you can add on to it. So you're missing out if you're not read issue 1 of The Wounded. And The Wounded 2 is just mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. So again, if you're not back to campaign and everything, this is the link to both Critical Ops Task Force and The Wounded 2 Kickstarter. Go to it tonight, click that link, back the campaign. You can get it. You can start off with $8 to get a digital copy of Critical Ops Task Force. With that being said, we're getting ready to wrap this thing up unless Nigel has anything else he wants to say, and same for Tay as well to close this up.
Just thank you for everybody who's been backing the campaign, all the campaigns, who've been supporting us, who's been checking this out, who's been sharing, who's been asking questions. Just look forward to the support. Continue your support, and I would always try to produce and give my best. And with this help, as Frederick said, we'll be able to produce more books. I'll be able to bring The Wounded 3. I'll be able to bring COTF 2 and continue to work in this space that I kind of love and I enjoy. So thank you.
For me, I don't have anything. It was a pleasure being here. Seeing you guys work as always. I would definitely be supporting the campaign again. Once again, like I said, hopefully this week, once that investor money come in. But yeah, I definitely appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for having me here. Also, another book that I've been looking into. I don't know if you guys know this or have seen this book before. It's called A Vicious Circle, about a trained assassin from the future who seeks revenge on his only, what is it called? The only man with his affliction. So I think it's a really good book. It jumps through time, and yeah, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. I definitely support this. It's a little confusing at first, but you will understand that every time he kills someone, he jumps through another stage or age or moment in time. So it's definitely dope.
I'll check it out. You said it's A Vicious Circle?
Yep, it's called A Vicious Circle.
Okay, I'll check that out. That sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, it's different. It's very different.
Who's
The writer is Mattson Tomlin, and the artist he does a lot of stuff for DC and Marvel. But these two, they're two writers one writer from, I guess he does a lot of Marvel DC stuff, and then the other guy, he's an artist. So them two teamed up together to do this book. It's only in, I don't know if you guys can find it, because I know it was like he's local here in LA, but I'm pretty sure you could find it online somewhere and buy it. So
awesome. Hey, Crisis Stranger said, definitely buying The Wounded 1 and back into thumbs up to Nigel. Hey, outstanding. Hey, I appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. This is what it's all about, folks. Your support and everything allows Nigel to push forward on this universe he has created. Everything. It's a wonderful universe. To be a part of everything is just special to me. To be another creator within this space, to be able to share stories and everything with the world, and that goes along with everything. That's what we're about here at Acre Comics. And we're looking forward to not only welcoming Tay to the family and everything as well with her matriarch series. This is a family affair right here that you see right here, right now. This is a collecting everything. This is the Wise family, and I'm looking forward to bringing some great things to the forefront. We continue to build not only this community and its followership. There's more to come from Magnus. There's more to come from Crisis across the board. There's more so coming from Wise Comics, and we're actually expanding the family even more to bring you more creative content that you deserve and need, and refreshing stories going forward into the future. This will not be our last broadcast. I guarantee you that. We'll be back on for some more. Until then, I wish everybody have a great weekend. I wish everybody have a great night. I'm gonna move over here to Instagram here in a couple of minutes or so and everything, and probably do a couple of live streams there to reach that audience on Instagram also. But it's been a pleasure. Again, kudos to Crisis Strings for winning the first giveaway here on the House of Wise. And trust me, I didn't know anything about that giveaway. Tom surprised me big time with them also. If you didn't follow him, definitely give him a follow at World of War Comics. He's a huge collector of Todd McFarlane figurines. For him to be able to give that up and everything tonight is truly special because we appreciate your support. With that being said, I hope everybody have a blessed day. This is House of Wise signing off.